Come join me, friends, and hear a tale from Captain DeLamer. It's Halloween. I'll do my best to give you all a scare. I'll tell you all a story that the members of my crew know all too well, a parable of what our fear can do. You see, it's thought that this captain fears nothing in the seas. But courage is not fear's absence. Bear with me, if you please. There's one thing that I know to fear, and that is fear itself. Just listen on, and soon you'll understand it for yourself. 'Twas the night of Halloween, and all along the ship, a spirit of great merriment had the sailors in her grip. On the deck were ghouls abound, and monsters of all sort. The lads costumed for the occasion, just hours to the next port. Their journey had worn them weary, so many nights away from land, had driven them near mad how they longed to see the sand. Ale a-flowin', faces a-glowin' with hope and great relief. Then through the music and the laughter came the bellow of their chief. "Hear me, lads, and hear me well!" From the crow's nest came the captain's cry. "Tonight the moon smiles upon us from up in her bright and open sky. Our journey's end is in my sight. Muse Harbor's kind, warm glow is the beacon of our freedom from the waves and undertow. A westward wind's a-blowin', water's calm and sky is clear. There's nothing that can stop us till we drop anchor at that pier." "Aye, Captain, there is," there crowed a voice from down upon the deck. "What of the curse of Old One Ear? Best keep our fun in check." Uproarious laughter erupted all round. The crewmates cackled and sneered. All but one, a lone deckhand, eyes wide and quite afeard. What? A curse?" he stuttered out, but not a single word could be heard by his crewmates, who thought curses quite absurd. The deckhand, now quite shaken up, looked desperate all about, till the first mate noticed, flashed a smile, and tried to help him out. "Aye, lad, it's true, these waters are cursed, or so the legend goes. On Hallows Eve, no boat arrives to where Muse Harbor glows. For Old One Ear lost his true love. She died while he was at sea. His crew had said he lost his mind, tried to blame them all, did he? Held them captive, anchored right here, began a twisted game. In order to return to shore, a life they'd have to claim. Crewmate slaughtered crewmate, but Old One Ear wouldn't yield. He'd hold fast that it's not enough till all their fates are sealed. But two remaining crewmates, mere deckhands like yourself, the pair devised a plan to kill the ship's captain himself. They tied him up and then keel-hauled him, and as he reached the hull, he uttered a curse upon all sailors. "Let all who come here be culled." From then on Hallows Eve, when the moon is shining bright, it's said Old One Ear's spirit wakes to give Muse Harbor a fright, to play his twisted game anew with sailors in her waters. But that's all hogwash, a scary story we tell to all our daughters. The first mate laughed and shoved a pint into the deckhand's reach, but wary still, the young deckhand dwelled further on his speech.
"Is this not dangerous, what we're doing? Tonight is Hallows Eve, and if it's really as you say, then maybe we should leave."
"Leave where?" The first mate was amused. "Oh, lad, it's just a tale. Besides, no turning back for us now. The wind's behind our sail. Best forget about Old One Ear and his silly little curse. There's no such thing. A hoax it is. Now, let's not make it worse. Dwell you no longer. Come along and join the reverie. For soon enough we'll be on land. Enough of this rotten sea." The first mate shoved off, left, and disappeared into the crowd. The young deckhand then thought to go somewhere not quite as loud. "The poop deck," he thought to himself. "There I'll go clear my head of all this superstition about curses and the dead." The young deckhand had always been thought something of a coward, a mousy type who simply obeyed the commands of the empowered.
Leave leading to the leaders. I'll play it safe and sound,
is what he always told himself. To this role he felt bound. The great ship's stern gave him asylum from all of the commotion. A starry sky and the cool sea mist helped him shake the silly notion. At least, it did, until the mist began to cloud his sight. It grew so thick, became a fog that swallowed the moonlight.
What's happening?
The deckhand cried as the fog began to swirl. And in that fog, standing before him, was the shadow of a girl? A woman emerged from the curtain of fog, her eyes pale as the moon. She looked upon him, quite distraught, as he began to swoon.
A specter!
Shrieked the young deckhand.
A ghost! Spirit, be gone!
The apparition pleaded with him.
No, wait, just listen on. I am no vengeful spirit, boy. I do not wish you harm. I come to warn you of great danger. You must sound the alarm. I am the love of old One Ear, the one who cursed this water, the one your crewmates now all mock, whom he tonight shall slaughter. Or rather, who will slaughter each other when he strands them here where he dropped anchor and trapped his own crew into his twisted game at sea. My love, he did this out of grief, but grief drove him insane. He knows not that his own true love can't stand to see this pain. I want no bloodshed, no revenge against the innocent. That's why I need your help, young one. Go not the way they went. You must alter your vessel's course, steer clear of One Ear's grave. A haven you'll find within a grotto, the one called Whaler's Cave.
The deckhand staggered, rubbed his eyes. The ghost was indeed real.
But what am I to do? He cried. The helmsman's at the wheel. My crewmates think me somewhat foolish for all my superstitions. How shall I convince them of what you say, to trust my intuition? The curse is real? They'll laugh me out. There's no way that they'll listen.
But as he spoke, he witnessed how her eyes began to glisten. Tears forming at this specter's eyes, a sight of haunting beauty. Cut to his soul as she responded,
It is your sailor's duty. You must protect your crewmates from this danger they dismiss. Whatever you see necessary to put a stop to this. Their lives are hanging in the balance, each one a precious soul. Don't let them fall into his trap. It's time to take control.
At this the mist began to clear. The boy could finally see. Just behind him the helmsman at the wheel, with whom he began to plea.
Good helmsman, please, I need your help. Great danger awaits us all. We must change course post-haste, or else to the depths our crew shall fall. So says the love of old One Ear, her ghost hath visited me.
The helmsman bellowed out with laughter. You've been too long at sea. Dear boy, don't let yourself be fooled by your own imagination. That story's a fiction, an old tall tale of some sailor's creation.
But look,
the young deckhand protested and gestured toward the stern.
See for yourself, she's right over there,
and forced his head to turn. But much to his dismay, he saw where the spirit had once been. Naught else but empty air. The helmsman no longer wore a grin. That's quite enough, lad. Leave me be. I'll hear no more of this. Away with you now, for the others think something here's amiss. The helmsman turned back to the wheel. The dumbstruck boy was vexed. What happened to the apparition? And what should he do next? Perhaps the helmsman had been right. His mind had been worn weak. But as the thought ran through his head, he heard the spirit speak.
Act now, young one, ere it's too late. Look how his back is turned. Do what you must to save your crew from the curse of which you have learned.
The deckhand's eyes turned to a pint a party gourd left behind. A blunt object with a firm handle, as if for bludgeoning design. Something came o'er him as he slowly crept up behind his mate.
I'm doing this for you, he said, to save you from your fate!
The helmsman scarcely turned around before with a dull thud, the deckhand bashed him in the head. The pint was stained with blood. The helmsman fell onto the deck. The deckhand stared in shock.
"The wheel!" cried out the spirit's voice. "There's not much time left on the clock. Change course now, north, to Whaler's Cave. One Ear can't reach you there."
But the deckhand, gripped by fear and guilt, could only stand and stare.
"What have I done?" the boy whimpered. "I've murdered my own friend." "He'll be all right," the voice insisted, "if you see this through to the end."
Beyond the point of no return, the boy summoned his will, and took hold of the great ship's wheel, and spun it hard until the vessel groaned and slowly turned. A cave came into sight, upon the horizon, which was once more illuminated by moonlight. The boy, still shaken, felt a hand ice cold upon his arm. It was the spirit of the woman.
"I know you meant no harm. Your friend will thank you in the end for your boldness and your valor. Soon you'll be safe, far from the reach of the curse's deadly power."
Her voice was soothing, calmed his nerves. He sighed with great relief. His worries washed away a moment, but this peace was only brief. "Oi, you! What's this? What's going on?" The first mate's voice rang out. From the main deck he had come to see why the ship was changing route. "What are you doing at the wheel? You know that's not your place!" He looked then upon the lifeless helmsman, and horror crept across his face. "Have you gone mad?" the first mate roared. "Explain yourself now, knave! What mutiny is this? You'll crash us right into that cave!" The other sailors heard the ruckus and made their way to the stern. To see this confrontation, their merry spirit turned to concern. As gasps of shock and horror spread among the gathered crew, they broke into a great frenzy. "Tell us now! What did you do?" The deckhand began to panic.
"No, it's not as it appears. A ghost appeared before me and confirmed our greatest fears. The curse of Old One Ear is real. He'll kill us all tonight. We have to hide in Whaler's Cave. Trust me, I know I'm right."
At this, the first mate charged the helm and tackled him to the floor. "You've lost your mind, you sick bilge rat! I'll listen to you no more!" The other sailors panicked. What possessed their brother so? Could it be true? Was he bewitched? There was no way to know. Panic turned to chaos as they all began to fight over whether to trust him or if the first mate had been right. "He's mad!" cried some. "Too long at sea! The journey's fried his brain! Just look upon the poor helmsman! His own brother he's slain!" Still others held, "But what about the small chance he speaks true? A warning from the spirits must be heeded. What do we do?" A brawl broke out around the helm. They wrestled for control of the ship's wheel, each man consumed by fear for his own soul. The deckhand jumped up to the wheel and tried to turn it back. But just as it began to move, there came a mighty crack. In all of the commotion, he never even saw the wind had picked up, rushed their ship into the cavern's maw. The great ship's hull was ripped apart by Whaler's Cave stone wall. The captain screamed in terror as the main mast started to fall. The deck began to tilt and sink into the waters below. They pulled the vessel ever deeper into the undertow. The deckhand clung for dear life to the wheel until he heard a familiar voice call out to him.
"Just jump, don't be absurd. You're safe here now. You have arrived to your place of salvation."
The spirit's words possessed the boy with a strangely calm sensation. Against his better judgment, he abided by her call, released his grip, and then into the water did he fall. Submerged in pitch-black water now, he felt somehow at peace. All of his fears of One Ear's curse now finally would cease. Then, in the silence of the deep, there came the sweetest song the boy had heard, and just to whom did this sweet voice belong? None other than Old One Ear's love, she now appeared to him.
and gently took his hand, and to the depths began to swim. The boy was spellbound, unaware of his now certain doom, as the siren song echoed throughout his underwater tomb. Listen now as your last breath disappears.
The way to the depths is paved with all your hollow fears. All their worries are what hurry sailors to their graves. Given now to fear's embrace, and come with me beneath
Let all sailors take heed and note this cautionary tale of how a young sailor succumbed to fear, the siren's wail. For fear is like a siren song that pulls us to our ends, and so we must defy it. So have courage, my dear friends. For courage is our greatest weapon. Though we may be scared, we must press on in spite of fear and not become ensnared. So on this Halloween, I hope you'll enjoy a good fright and know all will be well if you let courage be your guiding light. Happy Halloween!